What if peace isn't the prize at the finish line, but the engine that gets you there? Here's the counterintuitive twist. The calmer you are, the faster life seems to organize around you. In this journey, we'll blend Buddhist teachings with street-level clarity, Buddhist wisdom you can feel, not just admire. Through Zen meditation and Vipassana meditation, we'll swap anxious control for Buddhist mindfulness that actually works. This isn't wishful thinking, it's alignment. Dharma talks that translate the Four Noble Truths and the Noble Eightfold Path into daily Buddhist practice you can use tonight. Maybe you've been hustling so hard that your heart forgot its own pace. Together, we'll slow the noise just enough for timing, courage, and clarity to catch up. Buddhist stories and parables will open side doors, while Buddhist life lessons keep the lights on. Whether it's Buddhism for beginners or a return to form, Buddhist spirituality will meet you where you stand. Breathe. Let's see what shows up when you act like you already belong. You're not here by accident. You're here because something in you is ready to breathe easier and see sharper. We'll treat your life like a film where you're both the hero and the witness, guided by Buddhist teachings that feel lived in. Expect Buddhist wisdom that lands in your body, not just your head, and Buddhist mindfulness you can use between emails. We'll lean on Zen meditation as a steady anchor and let Vipassana meditation sharpen your seeing in real time. This is Buddhism for beginners and old friends alike. Simple words, deep water. We'll map pain and relief with the Four Noble Truths, then walk the Noble Eightfold Path like a street-smart roadmap. Daily Buddhist practice will act as your quiet superpower, the kind that builds results while nobody's watching. We'll fuse Buddhist philosophy with practical moves, so peace isn't a slogan, it's muscle memory. Think of our time like cinematic Dharma talks, paced for the world you actually live in. We'll keep it human, useful, and a little surprising, because surprise wakes us up. Along the way, we'll harvest Buddhist monks' teachings without the pedestal, just the pulse. You'll hear Buddhist stories and parables that feel like whispers from a wiser future you. We'll translate them into Buddhist life lessons you can test before lunch, grounded in Buddhist spirituality that's warm, not weird. We'll keep looping back to Buddhist teaching so your path stays clear when life gets loud. And since clarity loves space, let's see what opens when we explore the power of letting go next. The power of surrender. You've been taught to grip harder, but Buddhist teachings flip the script. Unclench, see wider. Surrender isn't losing. It's switching from force to flow, from noise to Buddhist mindfulness. In Zen meditation, you watch the river rather than wrestle it. And that's where Buddhist wisdom lands. Vipassana meditation lets you notice the craving behind the craving, the push behind the push. When you stop arguing with reality, Buddhist philosophy becomes oxygen, and options multiply. Think of our Dharma talks like streetwise coaching. Relax the jaw of the mind and clarity bites less. Daily Buddhist practice means letting the breath lead, not the panic. Steady in, steady out. Buddhist monks' teachings remind us, drop the tight fist, and your hands finally hold the present. Buddhist stories and parables whisper that surrender is a craft, practiced, not performed. Buddhism for beginners or veterans, the move is the same. Soften attention, sharpen awareness. Here's the quiet paradox. Surrender increases agency because you stop wasting power on resistance. Four Noble Truths show where clinging hurts. The Noble Eightfold Path shows where to step next. With Buddhist spirituality grounded in the body, you respond instead of react. Big difference. Buddhist life lessons reveal that letting go tunes you to what's real, not what's imagined. And once you taste that ease, you'll feel it. The shift from desperation to vibration is already humming. Vibration over desperation. You've noticed it. When you chase with frantic hands, life slips. When you stand steady, it arrives. Buddhist teachings point to frequency, not fuss. Buddhist mindfulness tunes the dial you're broadcasting on. Through Zen meditation, we trade noisy, hoping for quiet knowing. The signal gets clean. Vipassana meditation shows the micro movements of fear, so you can unhook from scarcity stories. In Dharma talks, this sounds simple. Breathe like you already belong, and watch doors remember your name. Desperation begs, vibration invites, That's Buddhist wisdom you can test before breakfast. Daily Buddhist practice is your transmitter. Posture, breath, intention. Click, the field responds. Buddhist monks' teachings remind us to soften the brow and let Buddhist spirituality hum underneath. With the Four Noble Truths, you see cravings static. With the Noble Eightfold Path, you tune clarity. Buddhist philosophy isn't abstract here. It's the wattage of your attention, right now. Picture two versions of you walking into a room. One clenched, one calm. The outcomes diverge. Buddhist stories and parables echo this. Wells fill the cup that stays still. Buddhist life lessons ask, what are you rehearsing, lack or trust? Your body always answers. For Buddhism for beginners, start tiny. 1 minute of breath, then speak from center, not fear. Feel that? The moment you choose signal over noise, control starts to loosen its grip on its own. Release the need to control. Control feels safe, but Buddhist teachings show how it quietly breeds tension and tunnel vision. When you micromanage outcomes, you miss the living details Buddhist mindfulness keeps revealing. In Zen meditation, you practice loosening the reins. Breath leads, mind follows, heart listens. Vipassana meditation lets you watch the urge to grip rise and pass without obeying it. Through Dharma talks, we learn that letting go isn't quitting, it's switching from force to precision. The Four Noble Truths name the ache of clinging. The Noble Eightfold Path maps wiser moves. In daily Buddhist practice, you trade anxious prediction for attentive participation, moment by moment. Buddhist monks' teachings remind us, open hands receive better than fists ever will. Buddhist philosophy gets practical here. Relax the story, meet the fact, respond with balance. For Buddhism for beginners, start small. Loosen one expectation today and notice the hidden ease. Buddhist life lessons say outcomes ripen like fruit. You can water, not yank. Buddhist spirituality isn't passive. It's skillful trust that adjusts course without panic. Buddhist stories and parables echo this. The sailor reads wind. He doesn't order the ocean. When control softens, signals appear that you couldn't see while bracing. And in that widening quiet, something surprising emerges. The strength that grows in silence itself. Silence as strength. Silence isn't empty, it's loaded. Buddhist teachings call it a workshop where sight sharpens. In Zen meditation, you sit and the noise unclenches. Buddhist mindfulness starts doing its quiet carpentry. Vipassana meditation lets you hear subtler cues. The breath's whisper, the heart's honest tempo. In Dharma talks, we learn to trust pauses like bridges, not blanks. Buddhist wisdom lives here. When the mouth rests, perception wakes, and the room gets bigger. Daily Buddhist practice turns silence into a steady friend. 5 minutes, eyes soft, spine kind. Buddhist monks' teachings remind us that restraint creates range. You don't need every note to make music. The Four Noble Truths reveal how chatter fattens suffering. The Noble Eightfold Path trims it clean. Buddhist philosophy gets tactile. Fewer words, more seeing. Fewer reactions, better actions. For Buddhism for beginners, think simple. One quiet corner, one timer, one promise to listen. Buddhist life lessons say silence isn't withdrawal, it's calibration. Buddhist spirituality hums beneath the stillness like bass under melody, steady, unfussy, powerful. Buddhist stories and parables often hinge on a pause, the moment the hero actually hears. And when we practice that pause, patterns reveal themselves, timing reveals itself, and choices refine, which nudges us toward the next doorway. What if the gaps you fear are actually perfect timing waiting to be trusted? Trusting divine timing. Divine timing sounds mystical, but in Buddhist teachings it's just cause and effect ripening on schedule. Zen meditation trains patience. You watch breath cycles and learn that nothing good is rushed. With Buddhist mindfulness, you notice the tiny wins that were invisible while you were hurrying. Vipassana meditation shows how craving compresses time, release it, and Buddhist wisdom expands your view. In Dharma talks, we say, water daily, don't dig up the seeds. Results surface when conditions mature. The Four Noble Truths name the sting of wanting now. The Noble Eightfold Path steadies your steps meanwhile. Daily Buddhist practice becomes your metronome. Consistent, kind, unglamorous, effective. Buddhist monks' teachings remind us that pauses aren't punishments, they're preparation. Buddhist philosophy gets pragmatic. Align thoughts, speech, and action so timing can meet you halfway. For Buddhism for beginners, start with one rhythm. Same sit time, same breath count. Let Buddhist spirituality set the pace. Buddhist stories and parables keep showing it. Fruit sweetens off stage before anyone tastes it. Buddhist life lessons point out how detours place the teachers you actually needed in your path. When you trust timing, your nervous system cools, your voice evens out, your choices sharpen. And strangely, opportunities hear that calm signal and find you when you're not forcing it. Which raises the next question we'll explore soon. What happens when your timing meets the beliefs you hold about what you truly deserve? You attract what you believe you deserve. Here's a candid truth from Buddhist teachings. Worth is a frequency you broadcast. If deep down you believe you're second tier, life mirrors that, painfully accurate. Through Zen meditation and Buddhist mindfulness, you can spot the old script, not enough. Vipassana meditation lets you watch it rise, label it kindly, and let it pass. In Dharma talks, we practice a new line. I'm worthy of calm, clarity, and right livelihood. The Four Noble Truths expose how self-doubt multiplies suffering. The Noble Eightfold Path recalibrates it. Buddhist philosophy isn't just heady, it's practical alignment. Thought, speech, and action in sync. With daily Buddhist practice, you rehearse deserving. Steady breath, steady stance, steady choices. Buddhist monks' teachings remind us that humility isn't self-erasure, it's grounded dignity. For Buddhism for beginners, try one mantra while breathing. Worthy of peace. Simple and true. Buddhist wisdom says belief isn't a wish, it's muscle. Built, tested, strengthened. Buddhist life lessons show how you teach the world to treat you by how you treat yourself. In Buddhist stories and parables, the gate opens when the traveler finally believes he may enter. Let Buddhist spirituality anchor that belief in your body. Jaw soft, chest open, gaze level, and notice what follows naturally. When belief steadies, calm starts to radiate like a quiet magnet. Calmness is manifestation. Calm isn't passive. It's power, shaped like water, guided by Buddhist teachings that prize balance over noise. In Zen meditation, you learn to steady the inner weather. Buddhist mindfulness becomes your lighthouse. Vipassana meditation shows the exact moment anxiety tries to hijack the wheel, and how to release it. Dharma talks translate it simply. When your breath is even, your choices are accurate. Buddhist wisdom makes it practical. Calm attention is the magnet. Frantic grasping is the repellent. Daily Buddhist practice turns composure into a habit loop you can trust under pressure. Buddhist monks' teachings remind us that clear seeing precedes right action, always. The Four Noble Truths map how agitation inflames suffering. The Noble Eightfold Path cools the flame. Buddhist philosophy becomes tactile. Relax the shoulders, align the spine, choose the next true step. For Buddhism for beginners, 1 minute of steady breathing before speaking can change the whole scene. Buddhist life lessons show that calm isn't the reward at the end, it's the engine from the start. In Buddhist stories and parables, the quiet traveler finds doors that noise walkers miss entirely. Buddhist spirituality hums beneath your day like a bass line, grounded, warm, unhurried. Hold that frequency and watch how people, timing, and opportunities mirror your steadiness. And notice what calm naturally invites next. The courage to loosen your grip so real miracles have room to land. Letting go creates space for miracles. Clutching blocks flow. Buddhist teachings make that painfully clear and wonderfully hopeful. When you loosen the grip, Buddhist mindfulness notices doors you were leaning against. In Zen meditation, release isn't theoretical. It's breath by breath, shoulder by shoulder. Vipassana meditation lets the attachment show its face and bow out without a fight. In Dharma talks, we say it plain. When grasping relaxes, Buddhist wisdom rushes in like fresh air. Daily Buddhist practice becomes the ritual of clearing space, one drawer in the mind at a time. The Four Noble Truths reveal how clinging hardens. The Noble Eightfold Path softens and steadies. Buddhist philosophy gets practical here. Unclench the timeline, refine the next honest step. Buddhist monks' teachings remind us that miracles aren't magic, they're conditions finally aligned. For Buddhism for beginners, try this. Exhale the must, inhale the maybe, and watch what moves. Buddhist stories and parables often hinge on this pivot, the moment the traveler lets go of excess. Buddhist life lessons show that releasing attachment isn't losing, it's making room for arrival. Buddhist spirituality hums. When the cup isn't overflowing with worry, it finally gets filled. Calm attention notices the subtle invitations that grasping drowns out. Quiet, timely, precise. And as that space opens, you can almost feel it. The universe adjusting the furniture so the next gift can fit. If this journey stirred something real in you, calm under the noise, a steadier breath, a gentler belief, tell us about it. What part of these Buddhist teachings landed the hardest? Which Buddhist wisdom or Buddhist life lessons felt like it was written with your name on it? Drop your story below. A moment in Zen meditation you won't forget, a tiny shift in daily Buddhist practice that changed a big decision, or a Dharma talks insight that helped you trust divine timing when nothing made sense. Let's make the comments a living sutra, Buddhist stories and parables from everyday people. Where did Buddhist mindfulness save you from a snap reaction? How did Vipassana meditation help you see a craving dissolve? Which step on the Noble Eightfold Path felt doable this week? If you're Buddhism for beginners, what was surprisingly simple? If you're seasoned, what nuance did you relearn today? If this brought you peace, clarity, or even a single useful nudge, subscribe now and turn on notifications. That way, you'll keep receiving grounded Buddhist spirituality, practical Buddhist philosophy, and heart-level guidance you can use tonight, not someday. We'll keep showing up with fresh Dharma talks, Zen meditation cues, and real-world practices that keep your center steady when the world tilts. See you in the comments. We're listening.